what's up, you guys? It's your girl JoJo, and I'm here with the review for Ready to Love. This is season 3, episode 7. I'm gonna just ask for forgiveness now. I'm gonna ask for it now, you guys. I'm about to get on y'all nerves, okay? I'm about to get on y'all nerves. I already know it. Y'all see my shirt? It says, sorry, I'm late. I didn't want to come, but I did. I did want to come here to talk to y'all. But let me tell you, I know I'm about to get on y'all nerves because I done had a grande coffee with an espresso shot. So I'm in rare form. I'm talking real fast. I might get to sweating in here. I'm probably going to be preaching. I'm probably going to be laughing a lot. So let me just apologize now, because I already know y'all going to be sick of me when this review is over. I'm almost sick of myself, and I just got started. I got a lot of notes. Okay, so I'm going to be editing today. Let's get to it, shall we? So in this episode, everybody is bringing a friend, and the friend is going to approve or not approve of said man in the woman's life. Did I say it right? Yes. Okay, so the friends are coming. So we start out with Brian and Alex. Alex is giving us a little boobage show. I said, "Ooh, Alex boob shaped like mine." You know, like the downwards, the inverted triangle. Shout out to all my triangle girls out there. Y'all know we be killing it. She needed some tape. Okay, I know the triangle struggle, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm being so vulgar. Excuse me. So her and Brian, they meet up with her friend Tanisha. Now Brian says he's a little bit nervous, but he knows who he is and he's gonna be fine. They get out there. Tanisha does inquire about his daughter, also that relationship that he was involved in that created his daughter. It wasn't a real relationship. It was just him, you know, being young and free, to which Tanisha reminds him it was 3 years ago. You wasn't really all that young. I said, thank you, Tanisha. I appreciate that. But he says, you know, men don't mature as fast as women, which I'm going to have to say I disagree with that. And I've been disagreeing with that for a long time. I think our bodies mature earlier than y'all's. So we got some stuff to learn a little quicker. But other than that, honey, this mental... I think even some men would argue that point, because we be, child, this head don't be together no faster, I think, than some of the guys. And I think last season would show you that, and first season would show you that, as well as if you just out here dating, child. I'm sure y'all know that to be true, especially if you're a man who's dated older women, child. We could be just as silly. Let's see. So they also discuss his feelings towards his daughter and how that changed him as a man. And Brian is the type, you guys, if you've ever dated a man who does any type of poetry or writes or does a lot of intellectual reading, they will talk like this. Okay, Brian definitely reminds me of the dudes at poetry night. Knows all the right things to say, knows how to say it. And if you're not used to it, you definitely will be falling for it. But it comes off to me as game. But it's good game for people who will go for it. And I think that Tanisha and Alex, they was feeling it. So then he goes on to say that, you know, when he had his daughter and he was in a position to serve her, and he served her, and he realized that he was having this love and his heart was opening for this woman, which she's not really a woman yet, but I got what he was saying. That's when it made me realize that it was just time to take a knee. And I said, take a knee for, I mean... take a knee as in observance, or take a knee for engagement? What kind of knees? But maybe he means like in regards to relationship, it was time to settle on down. I think that's what he was saying. And a lot of men have had that experience. I don't know so much if I've heard it in relationships per se, but I definitely have heard it in regards to just the compassion and the empathy that they have towards women changes because they see what their daughter goes through. They see what young women go through. I've heard similar experiences for men who've seen their significant other have a child or have a difficult pregnancy. So yeah, it opens up a certain level of empathy definitely inside of you. I've heard of that happening, but this is probably one of the first times I've heard it happening in regards to moving forward in relationships. So that's a good thing. Brian also says that he has cheated before. He was in a situation where the woman did not know how to love him. He didn't expound upon that. I wonder what all that entails. But he said that he let that situation go on a little longer than he should have, for a couple more months. Instead of being direct with her, which Brian has already said that he struggles with being direct, and Tanisha also took note of that. And when Brian leaves, she just tells Alex that she likes Brian, but she feels like Alex is still holding back and she's still a little bit guarded. And so Alex does take her friend's insight into consideration. So, yeah, that was pretty much that with the two of them. What did you guys think about Brian? Do you feel what I feel whenever Brian is talking? It just comes off as very, you know, I'm just very suave, and I know what to say, and I know how to say it, and I know what to do. But he does need to work on his directness. I hope that's something that he continues to improve on. Not really much with Jay and Simone. Simone's friend, she actually says this at the end, but Simone's friend was not able to make it, so we never see her on a date with anybody, which I'm not 100% sure who's still interested in Simone. She may be in danger of elimination, but Jay and Simone do talk, and Jay says that he does forgive Simone for what all happened because he has to protect his peace. So I guess that's good. They good now. Who do we want? Since I just brought up Simone and Jay, let's just get the whole entanglement, as the friend described it, of Joy, Jay, Winter, Edwin. Am I forgetting anybody? Those four out the way. So let me get the friends' names right, even though it doesn't really matter. Felicia, Winter's friend, comes for her, and Lydia, Joy's friend, comes for her, but they're both filling out Edwin and Jay. This is a lot of people, so y'all stay with me. They're asking questions, and I believe it was Joy's friend who asked Jay, who is your top pick right now? Because even though you're saying you're feeling both of them, there's always a hierarchy. There's always somebody you like more. Who are you liking more? And that person is actually Joy. He says in a previous question that with Joy, you can kind of feel her energy right off. Like as soon as you see her. With Winter, once you have the conversation, you can feel her energy and see her energy. So I guess maybe he felt Joy's before she even spoke, and then Winter, after they spoke, he felt it. But as far as who he's feeling more, he is right now feeling Joy more, which has got to be a gut punch, but it's always good to know where you stand. So I can't be mad. He answered the question. We moved over to Edwin, and did Edwin say that Winter was his top pick? I didn't feel like he outright said it, but he kind of suggested it, I guess. He said that he liked to have conversation with her. Everything is very easy. He said he wants to find out more about her support system, and he then began to describe his support system being his sisters and his mother. And for some reason, Winter's friend was concerned that, you know, those women in his life could possibly be a barrier to Winter entering his life, which he had already assured her that they weren't those type of people, that they just ultimately wanted his happiness. But maybe more went on in that conversation that got cut, because the whole episode, you could tell it was heavily edited in, of course, because I'm sure these conversations lasted a lot longer than we know. But overall, Winter and Joy both have amazing energy, but it seems Jay is right now more interested in Joy. And Edwin, I guess, more interested in Winter. I'm not really sure. But Edwin got some other stuff he got to worry about, which would be Nia. And child, this is probably where I'm going to get on y'all nerves, so let's just go ahead and get to it. Nia and Chris meet up with Nia's cousin, Kiki. Now, first of all, we know that these two have been feeling each other from the very beginning, right? There was a connection from the very beginning, right? And for the most part, Nia had only been interested in him, but also somewhat interested in Edwin. And as far as Chris, he had really only been interested in Nia, so that was pretty much his only one. So when they meet together, you think that this meeting is going to go well because they've been feeling each other, but things do not actually go as planned. So Chris comes in, he got his shirt primarily buttoned. I was like, okay, buttons, you know, he had a little bit of chest out, but not as much as normal, so I knew that he meant business today. He comes in, and Kiki asks him some questions about, you know, church. What does he think about church? Does he go to church and all of that? And he was just like, yes, actually, I am an ordained deacon. That I was not expecting at all, because Chris actually gives me more like universal principles and all, especially when they were grounding out there with no shoes on. But you know what? You can have those principles and also have your church life and all of that, might even bring you closer to God. So ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I just wasn't expecting it. Can y'all imagine Chris in the deacon line starting up devotional? I love to praise him. I love to praise his name. Y'all like to rock. You praise God. I love to praise his name. Father God, we come to you right now, Lord, asking that you touch this service, God. We come to you with our shirts completely unbuttoned and our chest oiled up and body bent. I cannot imagine how the deaconesses are probably looking off to the side like, is that Deacon Chris on the television screen with his chest oiled up and shining all of it? Child, it is going to be something special when he get back to that church. I bet you going to have a whole new interest peaked when he get there. Them deaconesses, they might vote you off the board, though, depending on what kind of church it is. But yeah, that one threw me for a loop. And he was just like, oh, Chris, you've been playing games. We could have been married. We could have been had a baby. You could have done the service. I said, slow down. Slow down. Hold on to them golden eggs, Nia. Hold on. So the friend brings up finances and how he feels about his financial obligations. And he was just kind of like, well, mortgage, we can go 50-50, and then I'll probably take care of what? Internet, water, cable. He starts dividing up bills, and then Nia's face started looking real tight over there. And he was just like, well, I mean, I'm just saying, I know she make more money than me. I said, uh-oh. Uh-oh, that's when I knew the conversation was probably about to take a left. He goes on to say it's not really that much money in radio, but, it's 2020, and I kind of believe in it being a partnership, and I know when to step back and, fill in the gaps when I need to fill in the gaps. And Nia is looking, it's like Nia is withdrawing from this conversation more and more as he talks, and I knew then that the connection that they had was probably over. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to get too far up on my soapbox, just a little bit. And we're going to talk about what happened with Chris and Nia. Let me try not to take too long. First of all, I'm going to say that Nia's not wrong. Nia is not wrong, y'all, for wanting those things for herself. I know some people are going to disagree, but hey, everybody has their expectations. Everybody has their standards. And if that's what Nia wants, and she wants to be at home and be with the children and the man provide, that's the expectation that she has set for her life and the lifestyle that she wants, and she ain't wrong for it. She is not wrong. She can have those things, right? And she pretty much stated them right off when she came onto the very first casting special. She always imagined herself as a housewife, so she's not wrong for wanting that for herself. Now on the flip side, Chris is not wrong. Chris is not wrong because he's living in today's time. He probably has had certain life experiences, just like Nia has had certain life experiences. And this is what he sees, and this is what works for him. He says it's not a whole lot of money in radio, which I've heard that is true. So he's not making the big bucks. And so the way Chris worded it was not the best, but I hope, okay, I know some people got the notion that he was saying he could just sit back and let her take care of everything. That's not what I perceived him saying. I thought that he was trying to say, especially once he added in the other stuff about it being 2020 and, he doesn't, I thought Chris might have been trying to say, I don't have so much of an ego where I need to control everything or rule with an iron fist. If my woman is successful and she wants to be successful in her own right, I'm fine with sitting back and filling in where she would like me to fill in. But not necessarily my woman taking care of me. That's not really what I got out of it. I kind of got, she can be successful or even more successful than me, and I can handle it. Because it's some men who you can be successful, but just not more successful than them, okay? We all watched Love and Marriage Huntsville, didn't we? So that's what I felt like he was trying to say, but it wasn't really worded right. At least I hope that's what he was trying to say, and not that, he wanted a sugar mama or anything like that. But if he was saying, but the more and more he went on about how he felt like it could be a partnership, that's why I felt like he was trying to say more of the first thing that I said. And he's not wrong for that, because it's some households that run that way. This is what I say. Y'all hear me say all the time, it's no need to get butthurt about how people run their relationship. You run your marriage and your partnership and your relationship the way that it works for the two of you. You have the discussions, you have the conversation, you talk about what your expectations are, how your lifestyle is going to work, and you do what is going to work for the two of you. And it's best to just keep it between y'all, because you start getting too many opinions involved, and then you start to feel unhappy about something that you've been happy with all along. So you do what works for you, your partnership, and your marriage. I see a lot of people get butthurt about this whole thing because they have their opinions that they hold on to and what works for them. And that's why I say neither of them were wrong. Neither of them were wrong for wanting what they wanted, but their response is kind of what threw me. Their delivery is kind of what threw me. Now, Nia's delivery had to do with how she responded to Chris after. It was very dismissive, very much like she almost acted as if she never had a connection with him and she never was feeling him like that. And I don't know, I wasn't really feeling Nia on that regard, because while she wasn't wrong for wanting what she wanted, she didn't have to be as dismissive as she was after the fact. Chris, stick to your guns. You know, if you said what you said, say it and you mean it. There's nothing wrong with trying to provide clarity, but don't try to clean it up and become who Nia wants you to become if you know you're not able to do that. You know, you already said what your money situation was, and if you can't handle all of those things, don't try to say, of course I would do that, or of course I would handle it, because you think it's the right answer, if it doesn't truly work for you. Because all that ends up happening when we conform to what somebody else wants us to be, the real us is inside screaming, dying to get out, and when it finally does get out, it's gonna be ugly, it's gonna be bitter, it's gonna be mad. So I wasn't upset that he felt the need to clear it up with Nia, but I didn't like that he didn't stick to what he originally felt. If you feel a partnership works best for you, there's nothing wrong with that. There is a woman for that. It's some women who would be fine with that, just like there's some men who, I mean, clearly Edwin was one of them, who would be fine with what Nia's expectations are. So yeah, don't switch it up. What I do want to say to everybody out there, though, is make sure you do what works for you. I know I've said that 100 times. Just want to keep it in your mind. And also be very careful in comparing our households and our lifestyles to those of our counterparts of a lighter persuasion, if you know what I mean, because we have to remember that our wealth is not set up like theirs, and our community is not set up like theirs. And when you don't have the community and the wealth, the behaviors of the household are going to be different. Now, do I believe that we could have certain households and certain things that are more common? Absolutely. But that would take a certain level of accountability, and we all know that the community has accountability problems, and it's not one-sided. It is not one-sided, although some people would deem to think that it was. There's a lot of pointing fingers and victim blaming and all of this other stuff. There's a lot of that goes on. I see it all over YouTube, and while I am peeping game, I'm also realistic and know that the best thing I can do is work on myself and not get involved in all this finger pointing and writing dissertations and comment sections and calling people simps and mules and all of that. Child, the best thing you can do is work on yourself in your own individual partnership, because until everybody decides that they want to take accountability and do the work, it's never going to be an area where these things that we keep talking about that we want and deserve and need and all of this on both sides, it's never going to be that place if people aren't ready to share hold these accountabilities and responsibilities for real. So y'all can let me know what y'all think about all of that. I guess I just preached a little bit, but we gonna move on. Child, we are gonna move on. So Nia does end up going on a date with Edwin, and again, I mean, the switch up, I just was uncomfortable with it because it made her come off as fake. Even though she has, you guys, I'm not saying she does not have a right to want what she wants, because I know somebody's going to say I'm saying that. I'm not, okay? I totally get it. And I respect it too, wanting to be home with your family. But the way she kind of went into it with Edwin, like as if Chris it's almost like he never existed. That's the part that was a little uncomfortable for me to watch. And Edwin's the type of guy, when she asked him the question, he said, yeah, I'm going to take care of everything. You know, I'm that type of dude. That's what I do. I feel like that is my role and my responsibility as a man. So that just goes to show that, hey, Nia's expectations, somebody can fulfill it, just like Chris. I'm sure there's somebody who can fulfill his too. As a matter of fact, going from the comment section of the video I watched, there's plenty of women who can fulfill Chris's expectations. So you do what works for you. Y'all let me know though what y'all think about all of that. And are you a what kind of woman are you, or what kind of man are you? What do you like? How do you want it to be in your household? And no need to argue about it. So, all right, I've been talking about that too long. Denise goes on her date with Anthony and Calfani. That date actually goes really well. Her friend Tony is asking questions, and they both seem to answer those questions really well. She asked Anthony what kind of man he would be in his household. Anthony said he's definitely going to be the leader, but he doesn't have any need to control anybody. They're going to still have discussions. They're still going to talk about things, their goals, and all of that. All of that's still going to be discussed. She asked Calfani the same thing. He said that he very much wants to be a man who protects and provides. That seems to be the theme of the show. However, Calfani also says that he wants to have a partnership in some way. So it was protect and provide partnership. He seemed to be doing a little bit of both. So I don't know how the finances play into that. They didn't bring that part up. Calfani also says he wants to leave a legacy of breaking the generational curses. I said, oh, shabba-bye. Oh my gosh. Well, I tell you, I really, if I died tomorrow, I'm gonna bust hell open with gasoline draws. Y'all gotta excuse me today. Okay. He want to break the generational curses, and honey, that spoke to Tony, because her and Denise always talking about breaking them curses. So it worked for her. She gives Denise gives Calfani a hug when they leave. I said they look like they about to break a curse right now with that real tight hug. And her friend says it seems like she's definitely feeling Calfani more, and Calfani might be the one. And Denise is like, yeah, we connect spiritually and mentally and physically and all of that. So, okay. Good for Denise. Did y'all see Denise the whole time the date was going on? She was just sitting back like, y'all better answer these questions the way I want you to. Adriana and Rashid, they do their date with Morgan, her friend. Rashid did great. I really liked all of Rashid's answers. I already told y'all that I probably would date a Rashid, so I'm glad that my selection levels are still pretty good. But Rashid is just like, he has been married before. Morgan asked him about that. He says that yes, there were some problems with communication. They did not talk about the hard stuff up front. Now he has learned from that. He has learned that he said that sometimes he would do things and he wouldn't really lie, but it was kind of like a, you know how you lie by omission because you don't want to hear nobody's mouth. It was kind of one of those situations where he wasn't communicating. He's learned from that and he's going to do better with that now. He wants to have more children, and they told him they might have 4, they might have 5. They're joking about that. They seem to have a good rapport with one another. I don't know. I mean, I like Rashid's answers were cool to me. I don't know about y'all, but I felt like that went very smooth. But she also brings up Calfani, okay, when Rashid leaves, and she talks about how he chocolate and built and all this other stuff. And Morgan said, yeah, that's nice, but I didn't hear you mention anything about his ambition, his goals, his personality. I said, come on, friend. Come on, friend. Come on, Morgan. We all need a Morgan in our lives. I said, that's real. And Adriana realizes, yeah, you know, you probably right. It might be more of a physical thing. I also like that Rashid mentioned that attraction fades, and we have to make sure that we're connected on more of a genuine level on things that work for our relationship outside of looks and outside of attraction, because those things are going to go away. I said, come on, Rashid, you better be preaching now. This is the preaching of a divorced man. Some of y'all wouldn't know nothing about this. And then finally, we move to the very end where it's elimination time. That's what we learned about Simone's friend wasn't able to make it. Winter said her friend was feeling nobody. Joy said her friend was feeling Edwin. Denise said her friend was feeling Calfani. Nia says that she is no longer feeling Chris. She is feeling Edwin. She acted like she was never feeling Chris, but we already talked about that. I already told y'all I didn't really like that. Alex says that she definitely still has her guard up with Brian. They also decide that Brian still is having problems with being direct and being straightforward. So he ends up being one of the ones that get a stern talking to. Denise was laying it out, wasn't she? Was just like, we ain't got time for all of that. I'm trying and I'm doing better. We here for the people who ready. They looking for love. They ready for love. I said, okay, Denise, lay it out plain to the brother. And of course, Chris, because he did not have any connections with anybody else, you know, and unfortunately was his time. They got Joy to tell him. Joy told him in a very nice way. I love the way she put it to him, and told him that he definitely was ready for love and he was going to find that one. And Chris said he would. He going to go on back to the church with the deaconesses, letting, you know, get healed. No, but he said he was going to get some healing from this. And he wishes that he would have done better, but there was nothing better that you could have done. You guys just don't have the same expectations when it comes to the lifestyle you want to live. Is Nia counting a lot of people out in what she expects? Sure she is, but that's for Nia to deal with. Is Chris counting some women out for the way that he wants to be? Sure, of course he is, but that's for Chris to deal with, right? So again, don't y'all get too caught up in yourself with this situation. It's just a show. It's just a show, right? And that was really it, you guys. We'll see who's going home next. I definitely believe it should be Simone, in my opinion. And I'm trying to figure out, if Brian does end up leaving, who else will Alex have interest in? Y'all can let me know what y'all thought about the episode. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you for the next one. Bye.